Brandon here. Time for more SexxxPerTease. Today's question is it wrong to judge my partner for his previous taste in men? I definitely did negatively judge my ex for his previous taste in men. I was disgusted, turned off. Well, I guess not turned off enough to not date him, but it just was also just... I just feel like if you have your own set of morals and deal breakers and standards and a type, like, of course you can't expect your partner to have the same type as you, because it's like, if you two are opposites, of course you're not gonna like the same type of guys because you like him and he likes you, so it's like, you like each other because you're different. But I also kind of feel like when it comes to certain things, like, that are deal breakers for you, like, maybe you want a man that has a college degree and your ex hasn't dated people with degrees. I kind of feel like that's a dumb reason to judge someone off of, because it's like, you don't need a degree to be successful or to make money, and like, degrees don't guarantee success. But I also kind of feel like when it comes to other certain things, like, you're not into drug users, like hardcore drug users, like meth, and then you find out your your new partner's last boyfriend before you was a heavy meth user. It's kind of like, why would you do that? And especially if your partner doesn't do drugs, it's kind of just like, why were you involved with someone that does drugs? I feel like that was an issue for me in my last relationship. Like, whenever people have the capital T's on their profiles, it definitely means they use meth. And I just kind of feel like, ew, I don't want any people that are into partying. Like, that is a turnoff to me. That is a deal breaker for me. It's like, I do not involve myself with people like that. So then to find out that the person he was in love with before me was a heavy drug user, I was just kind of like, really? Like, that's not like a deal breaker for you? Like, that is something you accept in a relationship? Like, you're fine with people doing drugs? Like, and I mean, like, I like weed, so it's like, but I feel like weed and meth are completely different. Like, you can't die from weed. Like, meth, you can die. It ruins your skin, it ruins your body, it ruins your everything, your teeth. So it's just kind of like, ew. Like, I don't know, that turned me off. And I also kind of feel like people are like, it doesn't matter who he was with before me because he's with me now. But I also just kind of feel like that's not like realistic, because I kind of feel like I'm always curious to know, like, what your history is. What is your past? Like, how did you get to where you are so that we ended up together? It's like, I like to know everything about everyone, especially if it's like we're in a relationship. I'm going to want to know my partner's history, their life. Like, I'm curious. Like, I clearly invest in you. I have feelings for you. I love you. So, of course, I feel like that's natural that I want to know everything about you. Like, I want to know all about all your previous relationships. I want to know about your upbringing. I want to know about everything else that came before me. And then it's also just like that natural curiosity as well. Like, did you hook up with anyone I know? Like, what were you doing before we ended up together? Like, I like to know all that. So I don't know how people are just like, well, I don't care who they were with before me, because it's like, if my man was up shooting up drugs and shit, I wouldn't know about that. Like, if he was dating... Another thing in my last relationship that was a deal breaker for me, well, yeah, like, I'm not pause friendly. So then to know that my ex before me was pause was also just like, their pause and on meth, and those are two of my biggest deal breakers, and you dated someone with both qualities. It's just kind of like, where are the fucking standards, morals, etc.? But it's like, you can't expect someone else to have the same moral standards, taste, etc. as you. So it's like, it's, on one hand, I just feel like it is wrong to judge your partner for the previous taste in men, because on the one hand, it doesn't matter as long as, like, my ex wasn't pause. So I guess the fact that he was sticking his dick in pause people before me shouldn't matter, especially since I'm on PrEP. And the fact that if his ex was on meth, and, like, as long as my partner isn't doing meth and not bringing his addiction into the relationship, then I just kind of feel like, on one hand, it shouldn't matter and you can just deal with it and tolerate it. But on the other hand, it's just kind of like, it's a turnoff, and it makes you question their character, their intelligence, it just doesn't view them the same way, because it's kind of like, it just questions someone's judgment. I feel like when you question someone's judgment, you lose respect for them, and, like, that was definitely something that I didn't ever recover from. It's like, when he ruined my faith in him and respect for him and just never came back. But also the fact that he was fucking a fat old white man behind my back was also more questionable taste and judgment, because it's like, that was disgusting to me. So just kind of like, you are getting with some fat old white man who's your parents' age and clearly has a black dick fetish, because they messaged me before. I'm sure they messaged every single black guy in the area, and it's like, you were dumb enough to get with them, and that wasn't a turn off for you. So just kind of like, where's your self-esteem? Where's your morals? Where's your self-respect? Because you're fine being some fat old white man's black dick fetish. Like, you don't want better for yourself. Like, that is a turn off. So I kind of feel like, yeah, like, you're naturally just going to be turned off by your partner's taste and judgment with previous men, because it's just kind of like, you're fine being fetishized by some feta white man. You will stick your dick in fucking drug users. You stick your dick in pos people raw when you're not in prep. Like, those things that their previous taste in men makes you question their judgment, question their character, and question their self-esteem and self-worth, and it makes you lose respect for them, because it just kind of feels like they don't respect themselves. And it's also like, nobody wants to date somebody that doesn't seem to have any fucking standards, because then it's like, wait, why am I with you? It's like, you literally get with anything and anyone. So they're just kind of like, am I not special? And it's like, if we break up, you're just gonna go back to getting with trash. So it's just kind of like, yeah, like, it does feel very... It's hard to give an answer about this, because it's like, you can't just say, yes, you're wrong for judging your partner for the previous taste in men, but on the other hand, it's like, if your partner doesn't have any fucking standards, or where they stick their dick, it kind of just feels like they'll cheat on you with anything. So they're just kind of like, you don't want them to like embarrass you further down the line, because they'll have literally no standards and no self-worth, and then they'll stick their dick in anything, and then they're dating you, and they're just kind of like, ew, no. Like, I want a man that actually values himself, values who he dates, values who he stands next to, values who he claims as a partner. Like, I want someone with standards. And if you don't seem like you have any standards and you'll get with anyone and anything, it is a turnoff. And I don't think there's anything wrong with judging someone for having no standards, self-worth, and will get with anybody, because that's not the type of person I want to be with. Like, if you don't have any standards, I don't want to be with you. So I kind of feel like it is wrong to judge a partner for the previous season partners, because on the one hand, it doesn't matter for your relationship, but on the other hand, it does matter, because it can make you change how you feel about this person. But I kind of just feel like, if I really like a guy and I see his ex, I think his ex is ugly, I'm not going to be like, oh my god, I'm not attracted to you anymore. But I just kind of feel like, why were you with this ugly person? Like, I want to know why. But I mean, again, it was their past. We all have a past, we all have a history. Of course, we're not all going to be attracted to every single person our ex got with, or our partner got with before us, and we're not supposed to be attracted to the people our partner was with before us, because guess what? It didn't work out for a reason, and now we're together. But if my partner doesn't seem to have any standards and will get with anything and anyone, that is a turn off, because it just kind of feels like, why are we together? It's like, you clearly like trash. I'm not gonna let you cheat on me with trash. So they're just gonna be like, yeah, it's a turn off. But I would say, if you discover you're not that into your partner's previous partners, or the person you're into's previous partners, I just feel like, if you like that, what's more important is, do you like them more than you're disgusted by their previous sex of partners? Are you more disgusted than how much you like them? Because that just has to be how you weigh your options and considering whether you want to proceed or not. So, thanks for joining me for this episode of SexxxPerTease.